1, 2, testing 1, 2. This is Don Famularo back at Mapex All Access. This is so great to have this Monday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and to bring everybody in and the joy of being able to have great conversation and the sharing of great inspiration and great education. And what you're about to experience today is an absolutely phenomenal player. And I'm a huge fan of Dante because his groove is as deep as you could possibly imagine. And he's got just facility that just is never ending. He's from the Bay Area. Would you all please welcome the great Dante Roberson. Dante, thanks so much for joining me.
Hey. Having conversations with you is hilarious, man.
Thanks, Dante. You know, again, we've met several times, and what I'm amazed about is that, when I watch some of the video that I was looking at recently of you playing on YouTube, on your channel and stuff, my gosh, you're just such a great player. You've got all of the aspects of playing covered. You aside from your musicality, but you just burst with enthusiasm and joy.
You know what it is? It's all pre-recorded, and I just moved my hands, man. Somebody else did it, and I get the fame, so I'll take it. Have you noticed that the cymbals don't really move when I play? The drums don't have no dents, no scratches.
Well, I tell you something.
Faces.
You sound and look fantastic. I got to learn how to do that, man, because that really is incredible.
You don't have to learn how to do that because you can play.
I've got to ask you, and you're in the Bay Area where you live, and what's fantastic about it is that, like many of the drummers that I've talked to, it kind of started in the church for you, right? Is that where it goes back to playing drums?
Yeah, I'm a Kojic Pentecostal kid. So my grandmother, my mother, I love my mom, my grandmother, grew up in church, playing at church. Our church population then was population of 9, and my family probably made 4 of the 9. So, and then we probably had 15 people at our church, and I played, and that's where I got my bumps and bruises. But my mother actually sang with Daryl Coley. He's passed on, but he's a legendary gospel singer. So she sang in his choir. So I was like right there in the midst of watching Daryl Bynum and Johnny Butler, all these awesome musicians work with Daryl Coley. So and I'm sitting there like I'm watching a tennis match. And then if I got of age, Daryl stopped playing, and all of a sudden he's like, "Get on the drums." I'm sorry. What'd you say? Get on the drums. And from all those years of watching him, I watched him like a hawk. And he was like, "Yeah, we're going to do a lot of stuff together." And that's how it started.
Boy, how interesting. So how old are you when you started playing drums, when you realized that drumming was your passion?
You know what? I knew drumming was my passion, most likely in the stomach, because my mother said I was either going to be a soccer player or a musician, the way I was beating her stomach up. But honestly, I say around 5 years old, I saw drums, and like I came out naturally gifted with the talent and the gift I'm thankful for. And there it is. It just grew from there.
Well, so how do you figure, was there music around the household? Were you,
all day, every day. My grandmother didn't listen to blues or jazz. So my grandmother's like strictly gospel. So you go to her house, she had the plethora of quartet and gospel, James Cleveland, all that type of stuff. But then my mom, who is a Christian, was playing like the radio. So I would hear Al Jarreau, Cameo, Michael Jackson, the Jacksons. My dad is a blues head. So he would Lou Rawls, Albert King, B.B. King, Johnny Guitar Watson, and everything like that. So I had like a conglomerate always playing around me, and I just always remembered the music and loved the music.
Well, what an incredible influence to be exposed to at a young age, to have that level of diversity of music. That really is very rare.
Yeah, it is. It is, because I've heard about people who grew up in church where their parents wouldn't let them hear, as they say, secular music.
Right.
But it was more than that. My mom was just dope. Her thing is, Christ can be in you, but you got to be the one that goes out around the people to show them that there's another way. Because I'm 49 years old. I never drank. I never smoked. never did any drug whatsoever. My mom's the same way. And when I was younger and you see people at the house parties drinking and smoking and stuff like that, you go, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just like music. I got attracted to music, love music, and that's how I just, boom, took off.
Boy, that's so, it's so great, you know, and the influence when you speak about, you know, taking care of yourself healthy wise, that is such a great message to send out today. And like myself, you know, drugs and alcohol, I never really did it because it was going to get in the way of me performing, and I was working hard to perform. So were there any drummers specifically that you were listening to at a young age?
Oh God, yes. Joel Smith was an icon. Joel Smith I was in East Palo Alto. He was in Oakland at Love Center, and my mom was singing with Daryl Coley. Well, always at Love Center with Daryl Coley. Wow. So I heard Joel Smith, like how I'm this close to the screen. I was watching Joel like this and hearing him play. And I heard Joel Smith. I heard Willie Gillette, another mentor of mine, Anthony King, Floyd Kennedy. All these guys are from the Bay Area. Then I meet Herschel Kennedy. And then meeting Herschel Kennedy, I ended up meeting the infamous Will Kennedy.
Yeah.
So then he really took my playing to another realm, because he was like, yeah, your pocket is cool, but it's loose. You need to tighten it up and make it feel like a comforter. Like, you know, when you cover up, I said, explain that. So he explained all of that to me. And then that's when my pocket locked in. Boy. And I'm more about the pulse. That's why I'm more about the pulse than just chops.
Boy, that's so great. You know, and Will Kennedy, who is a dear friend, and I am a huge fan of his. He's such a phenomenal musician. Boy, here's a guy that really, just has music oozing out of him. So for you to be influenced by someone like Will Kennedy, that really is, we say where you are in that Bay Area, you've surrounded yourself with some serious musicians.
Yeah, because the Bay Area has some dope musicians, hands down, from organists to pianists, bass players, like Larry Graham, Tower Power, Confunction, The Whispers, Hammer, Tony, the Hawkins, and just, I mean, you could just blah, 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 just name off people, and the jazz artists, the bebop artists. You know, the Bay Area is like a melting pot. It's like a true melting pot.
You know, certain areas, this probably should be a study with this. You know, you talk about Detroit and the Motown, New York, the jazz part, Chicago, certain areas just have, boy, the Bay Area has got some serious, I've been out there many, many times, and I'm dear friends with David Garibaldi, who's just another phenomenal, 50 Tower and Power.
Hands down.
That band, if you're not moving a part of your body when that band is playing, you're dead.
Look here. David Garibaldi lives about 30, 40 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
And been to his house before. Steve Smith lives about 40 minutes away from me too.
Yeah.
So just putting all the drummers that's in the area.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, just in the area. So David Garibaldi said one time to me, because I met him he was playing at the old Kimball's with Tower Power. And I walked up to him and I said, sir, you're an icon. And he was like, it's all about this. As long as you're focused and you know where you want to go, you'll get there.
Yeah. Simple.
Simple. So that's how I play. I play with intention. I don't play just, because that's why I'm such a groover with accents on the top. I mean, I don't try to be the hard one on the young ones, but I try to tell them, a groove gets you a check.
Yeah.
The chops will get you likes. Which one you want?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's great advice. And so here now are you in school? Are you getting together with certain friends, throughout junior high school and stuff? Are you playing with different?
Oh God, yes. When I was in high school, junior high, let's see. Now we're going to talk about some dope drummers. Brian Collier, who I grew up with. We talk about Brian Collier, an older guy who was a little bit older than us, Tommy Bradford. We'll talk about Paul Baines. We'll talk about Curtis. We'll talk about my best friend, Lamar, Robert Edwards.
Oh,
He, like, the five of us, like, back in the day, this is where the real church sheds came from. After they got out of service and they saw you wheeling in drums, they'll lock the door. And when they come to clean up the next day, we're in there. So you learn so much. You know, you're just a melting pot of just great drummers around you. And yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah.
So you're in school, you're playing with different bands. So if I want to understand, about 16 years old, that's when you hit it with, was it Daryl Coley that you went to play with?
Yes, sir. I went on tour with Daryl Coley at 16. He was doing workshops and then doing concerts. So my spring breaks, most of my weekends, summer breaks, Christmas breaks, I was playing drums. Even though I called myself a basketball player, even though I was ranked in the top 10 at my high school, in high school for playing basketball as a center. But my real passion was music. It was really music. And thanks to my jazz teacher, Mr. Morono, who actually taught me how to read music in high school.
Interesting.
In high school, he taught me how to read music. He was like, you play too crazy for not knowing these notes. Let me show you what you're playing. And then when he started showing me, I was like, I did that? He goes, yeah. I said, it looked like a whole bunch of scribble scrabble. So he taught me, then Anthony King taught me, Floyd Kennedy. It's like Willie Gillette, guys started that's like honing me in, and Will Kennedy, watching David Garibaldi, because you can literally go around to their rehearsal studio, because it was downtown Oakland, and be on the outside and just listen, because the windows be open. So I'm in there peeking, watching them rehearse. So yeah.
Boy, what an opportunity that I always say to certain people, where you're born and where you're bred from, that opens up opportunities of being influenced by people that just live near you. I mean, I live on Long Island. I'm just a short throw from New York City, and there's no doubt about it. I got into New York City a lot to hear these players play. So your influence of all these players is just so great. So when you went on tour with Daryl, what was that like? What was that, your first experience?
First experience. I remember my mother very vividly saying, don't get in trouble. Yeah. That's it. And then Daryl was like, I got him. And I'm playing with him all over the place. And I learned a lot, because then, when you're playing in different areas and you get to hang in that different area, you hear different musicians. So you're like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. So then again, being in the Bay Area, you take it back home, and now you're doing some of the stuff that you heard, and people going, ooh, I like that. So then it just spreads out like branches.
Boy, how incredible. So you're touring, you do it. So what happened that you come back from the tour? What was your next plan?
Make sure I take out the trash and not have my mom trying to kill me. How about that?
Well said and well planned, for sure.
But after that, I went backwards. You know how usually they say you kind of go out of church and start playing R&B. Well, I went backwards. I started playing Afro-Cuban music. I started playing with Bubba Olatunji. Yes. And then I started playing with Bubba Olatunji, African Rain, and Yuso Enduro. So I was doing that. I went I went that way, like turned that way. And then I went to fusion. I started playing with Najee and a couple of fusion people and jazz people. Then I started doing R&B. Yeah.
Interesting. Talk about Baba Olatunji, because I mean, that was some great music and some real, cultural brilliance.
They believe in the pulse. They don't believe in the time. They believe in the pulse. So I'm trying to clap my hands to it, going, okay, no, wait, no. Where's the one? Just show me where the one is. But you got to fall into that. Boom, 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 boom. And then he gets on the drums and show me what he wants me to play. I go, I can't do that. But it's all about that flow, that shape. What do you hear? What do you hear? What is the bass player doing? Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So fit in that. I was like, okay. Boom, 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 boom. They're like, now you're getting it.
Interesting. Boy, that's just some great opportunities. So you're starting to get a feel. You're starting to get some call from some musicians, and you're starting to kind of branch out now. And then you got into the R&B part of what was happening. How did that evolve?
Okay, the R&B part evolved from Dwayne Wiggins. I gotta say it. Dwayne Wiggins was my first real R&B call from Tony. And he had a band. Actually, all of us were homies. The band, all of us were homies. And he would go, Dwayne Wiggins and AMP, and it was called All My Partners. So most of the band, we were already playing together locally. So he took us on the road. He did an album called Eyes Never Lie. I played on it. Brian Collier played on it. But I did the touring with them and TV shows and stuff like that. Then from there, well, kind of from there, but not from there, because I knew him beforehand. I was D.L. Hughley, the comedian D.L. Hughley.
Yeah.
I knew him as Daryl Hughley. I knew him as Daryl Hughley. So when he used to do Jeffrey's Inner Circle, doing comedy, we used to play the band, and he and I got real cool. So then Dwayne does this. He goes, "Hey man, we got to do this pilot for this TV show." I'm like, "All right." I'm not even knowing this for D.L. Hughley. I get there, it's D.L. Hughley, and he's like, "Dante?" I'm like, "Daryl? D.L. Daryl?"
Oh, that is...
Match made in heaven. Then I started, that's how that grew.
Well, first of all, he's a brilliant comedian. He's so funny in what
he's crazy.
Really
that's my bro. That's my daughter's godfather too. So hold on. He's crazy. And that's my boy. That's my guy. That's my guy.
So what was it like? That was the Comedy Central. It was
Weekends at the DL.
Weekends at the DL. So what was that like doing that? So now you're doing TV. Listen, you're branching out all over the place.
You know what? I was so green to TV that I had to, like, I sat back, and again, the Bay Area in me, I just started watching how everything moves. I had a great drum tech there. His name was Rick. He was working for Center Staging, and he was my drum tech. Right. He goes, "Hey man, this is how you kind of want to tune your drums so they can really, speak better on the show." And I was like, wow, okay, something new. Yeah. So then, just watching that, knowing how to play for different people, because that's how I ended up getting the Eric Benet gig, because he came on the show and the band backed him up. I played for Kim, Eric Benet, Andy Dick was doing a single thing, Adina Howard. So many people I met on the show, and it taught me how, like playing at church, you can play for different people, but then when you have that, okay, we got tape, we got time, and we got to execute.
Right.
You don't have time to like warm up to the gig. You got to be lights, camera, action. Yeah. So when they're going, "Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Benet," you got the producer in your ear going, "Go now, go now." 2, 3, 4. You start playing, then you get used to it. And yeah, it's like you're moving. It's like a good boxer. If you got good defense, you're not going to get hit that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have an earpiece that you have, and people are talking to you. So you gotta be able to react in the moment at immediately.
Yeah, because I went from just being the drummer to the musical director rather fast on that gig.
Yeah.
Now it's technically my first MD gig. And we're going to put this earpiece, part of your in-ears. We're going to connect this channel right here. Keep it up so you can talk, so you can hear from us at all times. Yes, sir. Dante, we're going 10 seconds out. 5, 4, 3, go. And then you're trying to remember to count the band in and all that type of stuff. So you just had to get acclimated, you know, and I had to learn on the fly. Like I literally had to learn on the fly. It was no like, you got it, go. Okay. Thank you.
How do you deal with that level of, I mean, it's pressure, it's stress, it's totally intense. How do you mentally prepare for that?
I have an awesome mother. I have an awesome mother, awesome father. And then my grandmother was living. So I can go to them and be snatched back to reality, but at the same time praised, but at the same time, like, hey, you got this, do your job. This is what you want to do, do it. And you're sitting there going, you are absolutely right. Okay, let's go. And they just calm you down, make you, you know, this is what we see. You know, I love my dad. My dad plays no instrument, mind you, plays no instrument, but can tell you what's missing. and be 99. He's like a DNA test, 99.99% correct. So, and it's phenomenal. And I would go, man, thank you, Pop, thank you, Mom, thank you, Granny. And then I could go back out there and get beat up again. And then of course church training, because you know you got choir directors that they start the song off at this tempo, and all of a sudden they don't like that tempo now. Faster, come on. And you're used to it. So you just know how to bend, you know, bob and weave. Okay, you got my chin. All right, I'm ready. And just bob and weave, keep going. Literally.
You've got to learn on the spot. This is training in the moment.
Training in the moment. And then from that TV show, we went to night calls. You ended up getting a call from Playboy to do night calls. So imagine us trying to being focused with somebody screaming in my ear and all this stuff going on in front of me. I'm playing going, excuse me, I'm in the microphone. Excuse me. I had somebody hanging over my head, and why? And there's somebody under me, and got to be immune. Come on, let's go. And you just got to play. And that's how you get the respect. And then people respect you because you know how to be respectful and then get the job done. Yeah. So, yeah.
That point of being respectful, but it's amazing. It sounds like from your mom, your dad, and your grandmother, you've had some just great, not only great musical influence, but you had some great people skill influence.
Sir, let me tell you something. I'm 49 years old right now. Turned 49 Thursday.
Fantastic.
Right now, if my mother, us doing this interview, if she was to bust through this door and just say, Dante, you would see me break out in a cold sweat, get up in attention, and be paranoid right now. Real talk. I mean, I have that much respect for my mom and my dad. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Huh? Yeah. I'm not doing nothing. I would hang up on you right now. Like, I wasn't doing nothing. I'm just being honest about it. I mean, man, my mama is a G. I mean, woo! I hope she's not watching this part.
I look so forward to meeting her. That's so fantastic. But that's great. And and then you balance that with just a high level of church influence. I mean, there's some really, really great qualities of ethics that you really have, that you really bring to the drums.
Well, not to get deep on you, but I give all glory and honor to God for that one, because I don't ever want to be that musician that people go, like we were talking earlier. I don't want to be that person where they go, hey, let's call Dante. Oh yeah, he's cool on the drums, but integrity and character means something.
Yeah,
it means something. And if you don't have that, and if you don't have that, rebuild to get it back, and be man or woman enough to admit your faults, admit your wrongs. When you go through something and you could be in the wrong, it's the way you handle things, and it all speaks in your music.
Yeah.
We all heard a musician that sounds angry as all get out. We've all heard a musician that just so happy, and you're looking at him like, dude, is this dude about to fly away? Because he's just floating on air. You know, the musician that just broke up with his girl or wife or something, because you can hear it in the solo. You can hear it when they're playing. You're like, man, my heart is heavy. But I want to be that person that can bring you that emotion for your song, but not have to feel that way to bring you that emotion.
Yeah.
Or be that jerk to, have that arrogance. It's not about being arrogant. It's not about, yeah, I play drums. You see me, and they're singing a slow song. They're like, what you won't do, do for love. Ding, 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 ding. You find everything. You won't give up. Stick twirl. No. Calm down. It's okay. It's okay. You want some water? You go like this. Want some water? Here, you got some water.
Well, this is great advice. And you mentioned that when people say something and they add that but at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's the kiss of death.
Well, yeah. I got this from I'll tell the world. How I got introduced to you was my first NAMM show on a Thursday afternoon, or is it afternoon? Yeah, it was afternoon. And you were doing a public speaking event there. And you were talking about integrity. You're talking about people's character. You're talking about how being a drummer doesn't give you the right to hold people hostage. And I was sitting there going, this is interesting. This is deep. And the way you just you teach with a smile. Like you can teach angry with a smile and a laugh. Even though in the back of your head, I know you're going, you're a moron. But you're still like, yeah, man, you can make it. I doubt it. But if you can make it, you are going to do something with yourself. I want you to kill yourself today, but I'm not going to say that out loud. Why not that? And you wonder why you see people grow. It's because they have a heart. They have a real sincere heart. And you bring that to music. You bring that element of a heart to music. And you teach that. And you're like, so what? You're having issues with doubles. Everybody have problems with doubles or the pair diddle at one time or another.
Totally, yeah.
It depends on what time of the timeline you're on.
Yeah.
In learning music. That's it. Yeah. That's it. So you don't have to be afraid or feel inferior or anything like that. You just run your course. I got that from you, and I thank you. So that's some stuff that I really keep to me, and
well said.
Being real.
Yeah, but these are great words of advice, but they're words of advice that you do so well, Dante. You live this. You are a great example of these qualities of how they are. That's why I want people to kind of understand. I want them to follow you on your Twitter, your Instagram, all your Facebook stuff and website, because there's some great stuff that you're guiding people along the way. And you really are a true leader of the drumming community, which is so needed now more than ever.
Thank you, Dom. That's all I can say is thank you. I don't kind of see myself as such, because I don't see myself on that platform. I don't think I'll ever see myself on that platform of, oh, that's Dante Roberson. People walk by me and go, shut up. I can take that. I'm cool. But I want people to understand that you have something so precious in you that you can make a world of change. You can make the world change by starting with you. If you walk out with a smile, if you walk out with the right attitude, if you show up to the gig on time and already set up and people don't have to worry about you and wonder where you are, and you're not tripping about the money, and you're not tripping about, well, why is this dude here? And you called me to be here, and they want 3 drummers for this session. No problem. I'm going to play my songs, do what I got to do. I'm going to go home and handle my business. You have to be the one that holds the cards. But you keep giving your cards to someone else when you have the wrong attitude.
Beautiful.
Stop being a caveat when you can be the other half. Just be the first half. Don't be the caveat that makes people go, But no,
Yeah.
you should never, drummer, since we're on a drummer's forum, you should never be the drummer where people go, oh, I hired Dante Roberson, and people go, oh God. Yeah. They're already putting on seatbelts. They're already putting on seatbelts 3 days before the gig because they know when you show up. What's the first song? What's going on? Marvin Gaye, got you. 1, 2. And everybody's like, the bass player is like, you know, that's the number one. Don't know. And there's some singers out there. I know some singers been through this. They're singing and they hear the drum and they be like, oh, yeah, okay, all right, I see that. You don't ever want the singer going like this. Hey, or they like this. Whoo, yeah. Whenever you hear a singer go like this in the middle of the song, give it up to Dante. You just got fired. You just got fired. I'm serious. Give it up to Dante on drums. You're like, yeah. And they're like, you'll never get the call again.
Oh, boy, great advice. Boy, talk about what it was like. There's so many different people that you've done some touring with and recording with. Talk about Dave Kaz.
All right. So it was a San Francisco thing that I ended up doing a gig for. It was the San Francisco Christmas lighting thing.
Yeah.
So we did a whole week of rehearsals with him. And I was surprised Jay Williams, who plays with Dave Kaz, wasn't there. I thought I was going to be playing for somebody else. They're like, no, you're in the house band. So he came in and he was so cool. Hey, man, how you doing? You hear the songs? Yeah, I heard the songs. I have one question. You have a 2-beat phrase on XYZ Elemental P. And he was like, no problem. This is how we're going to work that out. Blah, 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 blah. Played with him. And that ended up just not doing that one night, but I did 5 nights with him for the Christmas stuff.
Wow.
That was Dave Kaz. And I was like, winning.
And how'd you learn the material? Did they send you the material beforehand? Was it
charts? They gave us charts.
Oh, charts.
They gave us charts. And I thank God I learned how to read music. Musicians, drummers, learn how to read music. Don't do that to yourself. Learn how to read music, for real. Because there's going to be a time where somebody don't send you a chart. Send you a track. They're going to send you a chart. And you're going to be sitting in there going, man, somebody don't know how to write good. Look at all this chicken scratch. Yeah. And that's going to be a bad situation. Learn how to read music.
Boy, this is such an important, I'm so glad you're bringing this up because a lot of drummers today feel that they don't need to read music. But by reading music, not only can you read the charts that they give you, but if you have to transcribe a song, you can do it way faster and more accurate as you listen to it and start to transcribe and write certain parts down. It's very helpful.
Okay, I'm gonna help them out that feel like you don't need to read music. I'm gonna help them out real quick. And Dougal Chancellor, Billy D. Whole lot of money.
Yeah.
John Robinson, Quincy Jones, Ace Boom Coon, whole lot of money.
Big time.
Ricky Lawson, the infamous Ricky Lawson.
Oh, rest in peace.
Bill Kennedy always plays all the Grammys. All right. Then you go, well, those guys are old heads. No problem. I got you. Teddy Campbell.
Yeah.
Nissan Stewart. Those guys do all, Brian Fraser Moore, do all those TV shows and all that type of stuff. Man, that's charts.
Yeah.
That's charts. You love Vinny reads. You love Dave, he reads. There's so many drummers that read, and you're going, and then they put out the book of what they played, and then you can't read it.
Yeah. Interesting. Great point. Great point. So I agree. Little John Roberts, Chris Johnson, these guys are.
Yeah, these guys reading like they read a newspaper. Like, oh, all right. That's how it's supposed to be, man. I mean, there's guys that you should be looking at more than for the chops.
Yeah. Calvin
Rogers knows how to read. You see what I'm saying? Know how to read, man.
Yeah.
Learn how to read.
Boy, great. This is so great, you know, and at many different levels because it's not. They shouldn't be afraid of learning how to read. You know, I mean, it really is just put some effort into it and get it down, and it just helps everything. You know, it's kind of like, listen, if you don't know how to read words, you can't get a driver's license. So, reading music is kind of the same thing.
Man, people crack me up when they go, "Oh, you know how to read?" I go, "Yeah, yeah." I get a lot of the sessions I do. They send me charts, and I'm sitting in there with a whole bunch of people, and they don't got time to play with you, to fumble over a song to try to remember where the accents or where this is.
Yeah.
Play, man. You learn how to read, your world will open up, because everything that you've been doing, your phrasing, everything like that is going to immediately change.
Yeah.
You're going to look at the music so differently.
Yeah.
You're going to be sitting there going, wow, the way that piano player is playing his phrasing, I understand why they want this there.
Boy, this is so great. And to work with the different artists that you've worked with. Talk about Eric Benet.
I know he's watching, so I'm going to say it. Hey, what's up, Effer? That's the secret. Hey, Effer. So Eric Benet, I ended up working with Eric Benet from the D.L. Hughley show. And he and I stayed in contact. And all of a sudden he called me, said, "Hey, I need a drummer." And Davey Nathan, who, have you ever seen the movie Jingle Jangle?
Yes, sure.
Okay, Davey Nathan is the musical director and composer of all that music for that movie.
Oh,
Davey Nathan, who's like my guy. He was the musical director for Eric Benet then.
Yeah.
And Eric was like, "Man, it's about the ladies. So make it sexy. Play your parts. Just play your parts. The simpler you play, the bigger it's going to sound." So, touch me when you feel your femininity. Boom, boom, boom. Just play real dynamic. And then when it breaks down, boom, 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 boom. And you see all the women in there like, "Oh, okay." You set the mood. You set the mood. You being a drummer, you set the mood. Why are you playing snare on the verse? Quietly, pow, and the first word he said was quietly, and you're in here going full stroke, pow, pow. No, man. But Eric Benet is awesome. We did Sometimes I Cry together, the song out, and he's an awesome dude, man. Eric's just awesome.
Boy, what was it like playing with Marcus Miller? I mean, Marcus is a phenomenal musician.
Marcus was stressful for the 2 days I did that gig, because not stressful in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because you hear him playing and you forget that you're playing with him, so you kind of stop. He's all, you're like, whoa! Oh, sorry. My fault. You're like, oh, I know. Yeah, I learned a lot from him. What I learned from him was, the bass player and the drummer has to have a sync, what they're playing. But when the bass player is the bass player's gig, the way you back him up and give him that foundation is the way he's going to be able to express himself with ease. Whenever you see musicians kind of leaning back or scooting closer to the drums, that's because they don't feel you and they're not secure in what you're doing.
Yeah.
But when a bass player is like this close to the bass drum, and all of a sudden he's playing, and all of a sudden he starts taking his way up there, oh, he's comfortable. Oh, he feel you now. He feel you. So yeah, I learned that from him. I learned how to be real dynamic with your Poogie Bell. Okay, so when the gig came, I called Poogie.
Poogie's great.
Man, I hit him up on Facebook of all places to get his information. I said, you don't know me, but I'm hitting you up because I'm doing this thing with Marcus Miller. He's doing this thing. I need your help. I want to make sure I do good.
Smart.
And he hit me up and he broke it down. He goes, "You from the Bay, right?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Give him that Bay grease. He'll love you. Just sit in the pocket." He said, think Sly Stone all night. Oh. I said, okay, no problem. Something, bow, He was like, oh, okay. It's set. It's set. The foundation's there. He don't have to feel like he's walking on a tightrope. He's gone. So yeah, that's what I learned from that.
Well, it's so incredible, all these different influences that you've had and what you've pulled from it. You seem like you really have tried to pull from everyone that you've worked with. You really have tried to learn in each situation.
Got to. If you're not learning, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be the asterisk. You don't. You want to be the period.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the groove of the show, you are the big letter that they write, whatever letter that is. When they go, thank you, good night, blah, blah, bam. You don't want a comma. You want a period. You want to be the big letter, the period. Because you hold everything together.
Boy, that's really great advice. That's really good advice. I want everyone to heed those words. We've got people that are joining us from all around the world, which is from.
Oh wow, I didn't even know.
I
was so nervous.
We got people coming in here from oh my gosh, from Chile. Pedro Barahona, fantastic from Chile. Bruno Muse from Antwerp, Belgium. We've got people from all throughout Europe, all throughout the U.S. I mean, this is so great to have this here. Let's take this question here. This is a wonderful drummer, a dear friend of mine in the Florida area, Carlos Gutzman. He's a phenomenal drummer. He's also a drum tech that techs for some of the top best drummers in the world. Dante, love that you mentioned Confunction. Very underrated band. How did your Mapex drums help you on the TV show? And did the set evolve from when you first started the show? Did this change as you were going along the way?
Yes, it changed. At first, I was playing the pilot of the show. I was always playing 12/16 with Dwayne Wiggins, kind of like a rock kind of feel. Yeah. But then on the TV show, I had to do so much more. And then people wanted more feel to their stuff when we were playing. So I ended up going 8x10, 8x10, 8x12, 14/16, 18x22, 5x14 snare, 6x13, and 5x10. Trying to cover all, the hip hop stuff. You play the 10-inch snare and the 12.
Yeah.
You always have a fat low snare for the people that wanted to, like the guy from the Spinners came on there and he wanted to do rubber band. So, that snare, you can't pop, pop. You can't have that. You got to have that. Boom, boom, gut, boom, boom, gut. And luckily, I had a great tech there. And even now, I have a real good friend named Charles Reed. Dope. Oh, God. Remember I said earlier, I hang around some drummers that just make me upset at 49. And I just go, who's doing that? Well, I got it from your concept. You're a liar. Charles Reed is one of those guys. And he and I, we bounce off stuff all the time off each other about tones and stuff like that. And he's a phenomenal drummer and a phenomenal friend. I salute him for having my back on that. But that's where you get all the different tones and stuff. Yeah.
Boy, very, very interesting. Thank you, Carlos, so much for sure. And
thank you, Carlos.
Let's talk Mapex Drums for a while. I mean, you've been with Mapex now for years, and you were able to hook up with Mapex. We go back to the early days with the great late Joe Hibbs, who was just a brilliant mind.
Joe Hibbs. Okay, here's my Mapex story. I was with another company. I won't say their name, Earl. Earl with a P. God, let me clear my throat. Man, I got Tourette's just a little bit. I got a little Tourette's. But I was doing a whole lot of work and stuff like that. And Tony Coleman, he was with the same, he was with the same company. I'm not gonna say their name. So he went to Mapex first. He was with Mapex, and then he goes, "Hey, come here. What's wrong with you?" So, man, I'm trying to get this dude to do what I need. I don't need much. I just want. He was like, he grabbed me by my arm like he was my dad. So he in NAMM show, mind you, in NAMM show, has me by my arm and dragging me to the Mapex booth. And I'm like, so my friends are going, "Bro, is that your dad? What happened?" I was like, well, kind of, sort of, yeah, but I'll be back. And then he put me in front of Joe Hibbs. Joe Hibbs goes, who's this? He goes, he's a nice guy. This is my friend. This is my son. And this is Dante. He does XYZ Elemental P. He's doing this right now. Joe Hibbs was like, let's go in the back. Let's go talk. An hour and a half later, he was like, so what color you want? But before that happened, before it all went official, what happened was I was doing a gig, playing my kit, my tour kit, the other, Earl, and they just so happened there was a Mapex Orion right there for the openers. And it had the same heads I had on. I'm like, oh, let me go check this kid out. This is what he was talking about. I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I tuned it up. Boom, 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 boom. I'm over there, and I'm supposed to be over here. Boom, 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 boom. Woo! I told my tech, I said, hey, dude, switch out. He goes, what? I said, let them play that. I want to play this. He goes, but we're going on TV. I said, so? Switch it out. You sure? But switch it out. He switched it out. Man, when I got home that Monday, Joe, I just want to let you know I love you so much, and I really want to be a part of the family. Please make this happen, because I really want to do this. I really want to do this, Joe. Please, Joe. He called me back again. What color? I'll go with the walnut. Deal. And Bob's your uncle. It came with my contract came before the kit. And when I say I got that kit, I was like, oh. I said, and I went on Facebook. Honestly, I went on Facebook and said, to all my drummers that need drums, the following drums are for sale. And I put the pictures up, and they were like, you are lying. I said, no. First come, first serve with cash. 3 days, all those kits were gone. And I was happy with Mapex ever since. Just the family, the vibe. Because that's me. I'm a family-oriented person. Yeah. So I love the family vibe. I love feeling like I'm a part of something. I don't like feeling like I'm an outcast or something, or I'm an option. Yeah. Even from our bi-weekly Zoom calls that we had with Mapex, that makes you feel like something, because it's like, I never was asked to do this before with anybody else. Now all of a sudden we're doing calls, and you're hearing everybody talking about what they're going through and what's going on. And you're like, whoa. And then you're hearing Russ saying, I'm building a battleship with the new atomizer snares. That's going to be a new snare for everybody. And, you're sitting there going, this is so dope. And then I'm doing this. I'm doing an interview. I'm with Dom, the icon, doing an interview right now, right here. And I'm like, bro, come on, man. God is past good. He's phenomenal. And then just to be a part of Mapex with great equipment. And as you can see, this is, move my head. See, move my head this way. This is my evolution.
Beautiful.
This, the 8x10, 7x10, 8x12 are birch. 14x14, 16x16, 18x22, 16x20 are maple. The snare over here is the nucleus. Let me grab it. This is the nucleus snare. Remember how we did these videos? This is the nucleus snare right here. I'm getting this snare. This snare is a beast. Now, this is the first Mapex snare I had. Joe Hitt sent me this, and this thing is heavy. It's heavy. 5x13 right here. Wow. Send me this. And my baby snare is the atomizer. That's oh God. That's my honey. Like, you don't nobody play that but me. Don't touch that. Don't just leave that case right there. I'll go get it. I'll get it. Leave her alone. You okay, sweetheart? Okay. Okay. That's how I am with that snare drum, okay? So,
and these evolution, you talked about the evolution too. It's a brilliant drum set. Talk about the tuning on the mount.
This knob right here
Yeah.
made me feel like I was the best drum tech ever with tuning drums. This thing, the sustain, you could take away the sustain if you need to, close it up a little bit to get a nice little focused tone. Just this knob alone, just this little knob right here is amazing. And it just, what can I say, man? Mapex is, y'all dangerous.
Pretty
Y'all
serious.
dangerous.
Yeah, pretty serious. They are committed. And, guys like Mark Bennett, who are there now, and the former guys like Bob Terry, these are good people that are with us. Jeff Mulvihill, they're just right behind the product. And there's people behind the product that know what they're talking about. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, Mark Bennett is from the Bay Area, and he and I actually knew each other, each other. And then he was like, wait, Dante? I was like, that's my name. He called me, like, that's me. He goes, Dante Roberson? Taz? I was like, yes. What? What? Am I not with Mapex no more? What happened? What did I do? I swear I didn't do it. I promise I didn't do it. He was like, no, I know you. You live it. I was like, yo, and then click. We're united and it feels so good. So yeah.
You really just talk about the name Taz, where that came from.
Okay, 2 parts. The first part came from me playing drums and going around the kit. I do this thing it's a triplet thing. I do it off the floor tom, rack tom, snare, and then sometimes I put in a crash, and it's kind of fast. Or I go around the kit, and people were like, "Yo, that's like the Tasmanian devil spinning around. You're Taz." And then one day, once somebody saw how I focused for the show, before the show, I'm like, "Yeah, man, we gonna have fun, man. Let's get it. And then right before we go on stage, I'm just like,
serious.
and they're like, what? Is he mad at somebody? Because he's too big. He is too big. And they're like, oh no, he's just getting ready for the show. But why does he look like he's about to kill somebody? He's about to kill some drums. That's what he's about to kill. And that's where it comes from. That's where Taz comes from.
Boy, that is so fantastic, man. It really is fantastic. And just if you would, just talk about what kind of advice you would give to this young next generation. They want to get out there and they want to go out there and play music and be involved with the music industry. What kind of advice would you give them?
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm a straight shooter. I'm going to try to do this the best I can with tech. Have your ears open. Have your ears open at all times, and have your heart open, because people need you to play with emotion and not for pride and not for ego. Any artist, unless you are the artist and the band is yours, this excludes you. But any artist that you're playing for wants to have you as their tag team partner. If you ever seen the Road Warriors, remember you had Animal and Hawk. Hawk was the tall, slender one, but Animal was like the bruiser bulldog looking one.
Yeah.
And one is not good without the other. You got to be the bulldog for him, because while the singer's up front, you're the drummer. You're driving a cruise ship, holding down the groove and pulling everybody in and everything like that. So be mindful to that situation. Also, be mindful to the music. If you don't like the music, don't play the music. Yeah. If you want to talk about the music, oh, they got me in here playing for such and such and such, and that music is corny. Don't do the gig. Yeah. Don't do the gig. Don't do a gig for money or fame. Do it for the passion and the love of music that you have. And if you don't have that passion for love and music, then go be a hostess at Walmart. They are hiring right now. So another thing, when it comes to music, and it comes to this thing that we love called drums, you don't have to give everybody your information on song one. There is a show. It's called a show for a reason. So if you go opening camera and go crazy and flipping sticks and twirling around, and then the next song comes, you're still doing the same thing. The next song comes, and all of a sudden at the end of the show, you're doing the last stick twirl. They forgot about you. if you give them good meat and potatoes, because let me tell you something, there's nothing better than a 16-ounce ribeye, 2-inch cut. My dad's an awesome cooker. Hopefully he's watching. I can put that subliminal message in his ear right now. I like that ribeye steak. So your good 2-inch ribeye steak, medium rare or rare. Oh God. Because you can only eat rare meat if the meat is good.
Yeah.
So you want to be good meat
Yeah.
for the people. You want to be something that they can taste and savor. You don't want to be overcooked, or you don't want to be spoiled meat because they want to get rid of you fast. So listen, if you have somebody talking to you older who's gigging, they're not trying to hurt your feelings. They're trying to set you up for greatness. And that's what I believe in. I would never try to tear anybody down or disrespect anyone, but I want to set you up for greatness so you can be better than just Dante Taz. You can be way bigger than that. So there it is.
Boy, great. Boy, this is absolutely brilliant advice, Dante, because you are incredibly active with tons of producers out in the Bay Area that are contacting you. You did a live stream that was a solo concert that you did, taking requests from people. You stayed active, and you embraced this pandemic where you just kept on. You kept busy. You kept honest with yourself, and because of who you are as a musician and a person, because those two are very high standards. This is an incredible message to send out to the world that it's possible, and you're doing it.
Well, I'm thankful. I can never say I'm thankful enough, because when you go through stuff and you have to live life and you have to feel vindicated, and you are vindicated, and you feel like you're alone, this music can clear everything.
Yeah.
And past your integrity, your character, it's a mind saver.
Yeah.
It's a mind saver. Trust me, bro. I know how it feels to want, like, you feel like you're alone. You almost feel borderline suicidal, or you feel like you're not there. I know how it feels, but trust me, if you take your time and like really look at the bigger picture, you'll see that there's something to live for. And it's past just music or yourself. It's your family that loves you. Yeah. It's the artists that you play for. It's the people that's under you, regardless of who it is. If one person likes your playing, man, you're doing something.
Yeah.
If one person called you for a gig, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You got the gig. So you can make it, man. You can make it. And if you feel like you can't make it, hit me up. We'll talk about it.
And they can hit you up on your Facebook page, which is Dante Taz Roberson. On Facebook, I want people to track you down and go watch some of your Facebook stuff. Twitter is Dante Taz, T-A-Z. Mm-hmm. YouTube is Dante Taz Roberson on your YouTube channel. And Instagram is The Real Dante Taz. So let's get in there and check it out. I want everyone to go check out, follow you on social media.
And get my stuff, get my music.
Absolutely. Get involved, listen to his music, purchase it, and enjoy it. I cannot thank you enough, Dante. You have been fantastic to deal with on behalf of Mapex and our All Access channel here. We thank you so much. Stay well, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you at some point in person.
Yes, sir, Icon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Stay well. See you next week.